What do you get when you combine lightning-fast punches, incredible athleticism, and a never-say-die attitude? You get Anthony Joshua, one of the most exciting heavyweight boxers in recent memory. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the most surprising moments in Joshua's career, from his early days in the sport to his most recent fights. So put on your boxing gloves and get ready for a knockout, Olympic gold medal. Let's start at the beginning of Anthony Joshua's journey to boxing stardom back in 2012, when he won the Olympic gold medal in London. It's hard to overstate just how surprising this victory was. At the time, Joshua had only been boxing for 3 years, and he was still relatively unknown in the sport. But despite his lack of experience, he managed to go all the way and win the most prestigious prize in amateur boxing. What made Joshua's Olympic win even more impressive was the way he did it. He faced some tough opponents along the way, including the reigning world champion from Italy, Roberto Camarel. In the final, he went toe-to-toe with the reigning Olympic champion, the towering Italian Roberto Camarel, and emerged victorious in a dramatic 18-18 countback decision. It was a stunning achievement that put Joshua on the map and set the stage for his future in boxing. But what really stood out about Joshua's performance in the Olympics was his sheer power and athleticism. Even in his early fights, he displayed a level of speed, agility, and brute strength that was truly remarkable. And he did it all with a level of poise and composure that belied his young age and inexperience. Watching Joshua in the Olympics, you got the sense that you were witnessing the birth of a truly special talent. Of course, Joshua's Olympic gold medal was just the beginning of his journey. He still had a long road ahead of him, filled with ups and downs, victories and setbacks. But his triumph in London showed us that he had the raw talent and determination to become a boxing legend, and that's exactly what he's become. Shocking loss to Andy Ruiz Jr. Next up on our list of Anthony Joshua's most surprising moments is his loss to Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2019. This was a fight that no one saw coming. Joshua was the heavy favorite going into the bout, with an impressive record of 22 wins and no losses. Meanwhile, Ruiz was seen as a relative underdog, with a record of 32 wins and just 1 loss. But on the night of the fight, everything changed. And then, in the 3rd round, he caught Joshua with a devastating left hook that sent the champion crashing to the canvas. It was a moment that stunned the boxing world and sent shockwaves through the sport. What made Joshua's loss to Ruiz so surprising was the way it happened. Joshua had never been knocked down before in his professional career, and he was widely regarded as one of the best boxers in the world. But on that night in New York, he seemed to be off his game. He looked sluggish and slow, and he was unable to defend himself against Ruiz's relentless attack. But even in defeat, Joshua showed his true character. He took responsibility for his loss and vowed to come back stronger. And he did just that. In a rematch with Ruiz later that same year, Joshua showed the world what he was really made of. He boxed with discipline and focus, keeping Ruiz at bay with his jab and using his speed and power to score points. In the end, he won the fight by unanimous decision, proving that he was still one of the best in the business. Redemption in the rematch. The next surprising moment on our list is Anthony Joshua's redemption in the rematch against Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2019. After suffering a shocking loss to Ruiz earlier in the year, Joshua had a lot to prove. And he did just that in one of the most thrilling fights of his career. In the build-up to the rematch, Joshua was a man on a mission. He worked tirelessly in the gym, honing his technique and preparing for the biggest fight of his life. And when the night of the fight finally arrived, he was ready. From the opening bell, Joshua looked like a different fighter. He was lighter on his feet, faster with his punches, and more disciplined in his approach. He kept Ruiz at bay with his jab and used his speed and power to score points. And when Ruiz tried to get in close, Joshua was ready, using his footwork to move out of harm's way and counter with precision. But what really stood out about Joshua's performance in the rematch was his mental toughness. He never lost his focus or his composure, even when Ruiz landed heavy blows. And he never let up, even when it seemed like victory was in sight. He fought with determination and heart, proving to the world that he was still one of the best boxers on the planet. In the end, Joshua won the fight by unanimous decision, reclaiming his titles and his status as a boxing superstar. It was a moment of redemption that will go down in history as one of the most impressive comebacks in the sport. Tyson Fury call-out. One of the most surprising moments in Anthony Joshua's career was his call-out of Tyson Fury in 2019. At the time, Fury was the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, and Joshua had just reclaimed his titles in the rematch against Andy Ruiz Jr. Many boxing fans thought that a fight between Joshua and Fury was inevitable, but few expected Joshua to call out Fury so boldly and so soon. In an interview after his victory over Ruiz, Joshua made it clear that he wanted to fight Fury next. He talked about his respect for Fury as a fighter and as a person, but he also made it clear that he believed he could beat him. What was surprising about Joshua's call out of Fury was not just the timing, but also the confidence with which he delivered it. Joshua had just suffered a shocking defeat to Ruiz earlier in the year, and many people were wondering if he would ever be the same fighter again. But with his victory over Ruiz and his call out of Fury, Joshua showed the world that he was still one of the best heavyweights in the world. The call-out also set the stage for what could be one of the biggest fights in boxing history. Joshua and Fury are two of the most talented and charismatic fighters in the sport, and a fight between them would be a true spectacle. While the fight has not yet happened, there is still hope that it will take place in the near future. Victory over Kubrat Pulev. The final moment on our list of Anthony Joshua's most surprising moments is his victory over Kubrat Pulev in 2020. This was a fight that was highly anticipated by boxing fans all over the world, and Joshua did not disappoint. From the very first round, Joshua looked like a man on a mission. He came out swinging, landing heavy blows and putting Pulev on the defensive. And as the fight went on, he only got stronger. What really stood out about Joshua's performance in this fight was his power and precision. He landed big shots on Pulev throughout the fight, and he was able to avoid most of the Bulgarian's counterpunches. And when he did get hit, he took it in stride, never losing his composure or his focus. In the 9th round, Joshua landed a devastating uppercut that sent Pulev crashing to the canvas. It was a moment of pure domination, and it proved that Joshua was still one of the most powerful punchers in the sport. But what was even more impressive than Joshua's power was his patience. He didn't rush in and try to finish the fight early. Instead, he took his time, picking his shots and wearing Pulev down. And when the opportunity presented itself, he struck with deadly accuracy. In the end, Joshua won the fight by knockout, cementing his status as one of the best boxers in the world. And he did it in style with a performance that was both thrilling and technically sound. In conclusion, Anthony Joshua has had many surprising moments throughout his career as a professional boxer. From winning the Olympic gold medal to suffering a shocking defeat, to calling out Tyson Fury and claiming redemption in a rematch, to his victory over Kubrat Pulev, Joshua has proven time and time again that he is one of the best heavyweights in the world. He has shown us that sometimes the most surprising moments can be the most inspiring, and that he is not afraid to take risks and go after what he wants. It will be exciting to see what other surprising moments Joshua will bring us in the future.